Welcome back to Suncoast FYI. I'm Cassie Nall. Bart Scovill, PLC, is an estate planning, probate, and business law firm that aims to help clients and families identify and avoid problems before they occur. Bart Scovill joins me now to tell us more. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Cassie. Thank you for having me.
It's good. I'm excited to learn more about estate plans and probates here because I honestly know nothing about them.
That's interesting. Not everybody's excited about that, so.
Yeah, okay, well then maybe I'm not excited about it, but I'm excited to learn something new today. So who should have an estate plan?
Well, Cassie, that's kind of a trick question, actually, because everybody already has an estate plan in the state of Florida. It's either what you prepared yourself for you and your family, or it's what the state of Florida is going to provide. And so it's very important to know what that is. And so many attorneys in the state of Florida, like myself, will meet with families for free to let them know what would happen if anything happened to any of them. And it's not a good idea to rely on the state of Florida to make those decisions for you. So at the very least, you'll come away knowing what you're looking at and then what choices you can make to make things better.
Yeah, and I would say a lot of people probably don't think of that because on a day-to-day basis, we're not necessarily planning for what if we weren't here tomorrow.
That's true. It's kind of a one-time, well, not a one-time deal, but you come in and you kind of take care of it, and then you don't have to think about it every day.
Yeah, that's good, and you can just update it as necessary, I guess.
Yeah.
So what are the elements of an estate plan?
Well, when most people come to see me, they tend to think about succession planning. That's the transfer of assets from one generation to the next. So a will accomplish that. We also sometimes use trust. But what people tend not to think about is what happens in the event of incapacity, what can protect them during their lifetime. And so we'll use advanced directives, designations of healthcare surrogate, living wills, durable powers of attorney, and sometimes designations of pre-need guardian. And that can allow someone to make decisions as to who would manage their affairs if they can't for themselves.
Yeah, which again is a difficult subject matter to talk about sometimes, but it's kind of the nitty-gritty too that isn't really relevant until right when you need it.
Exactly, and it's better to think about it when everybody's happy and healthy and hopefully the sun is shining than when somebody's fallen ill. That's a really tough time to talk about it.
Yeah, you got to plan in advance, which is why people should come visit you.
Exactly.
So what is probate and how can I avoid it?
Well, probate is the process that a will is administered and getting the assets transferred. It's court supervised, and in Florida it's gotten kind of a bad reputation. The reason being is because it's expensive, it's time consuming, it's emotionally difficult on the family, and it can be avoided. And so a big part of our estate planning anymore is the avoidance of probate. And this can be done in several different ways. Joint ownership, although we do try to limit that because owning property jointly with another person can be risky for both parties. Mm-hmm. We also, designations of beneficiaries is a good way on bank accounts or investment accounts. And trust is a big or a big item that we use to avoid probate because assets held in trust generally don't have to go through probate. And it leaves the family with complete control, but once again avoids the probate.
Well, can you explain real quick for those that don't know exactly what probate is?
That's true. I did kind of skip over that one. Once again, it's the process of transferring assets, and it literally means proving a will. I do know some people think that if you have a will, that will avoid probate, but that's not the case. It will take more than that. And there's the parties that are being protected. It's the wishes of the person who's passed away. It's the beneficiaries, but it's also the creditors. The creditors have a say in all this too. So that's why it's such an involved process.
Yeah, definitely something, again, the details that the day-to-day person probably doesn't even think about or know or something, which is why someone like you is so useful in those situations because you understand them and can help us with that.
Certainly.
So do I need Florida documents?
That's another good question because Florida, obviously it's a wonderful state. The weather's great, so a lot of people like to move here, and they'll come down with their out-of-state documents. And the rule of law in Florida is that if the document was valid in the state in which it was executed, at the time it was executed, then it's valid here. So it's not that their documents are going to be invalid, but right away you can see you've got to have an out-of-state attorney to verify that they were valid at the time so that they're valid here. So now you've got two attorneys involved. Plus it's going to reference out-of-state statutes, and so you're going to have to talk to out-of-state attorneys to get their opinions on various things. It's better to have Florida documents if you live in Florida.
Yeah, I could see that getting messy in the time of need during that. And once everything is signed, am I done?
Unfortunately, no. The only constant is change. And so once the documents are done, for that period you're done, but you should review them periodically. We recommend every 3 to 5 years if nothing changes, but you should also change or review them anytime there's a change in your circumstance. Increase, decrease in wealth, the accumulation of new assets, births, deaths, marriages, divorces, any major life event, and you should relook at your estate plan.
Got to keep it all up to date, and of course, you're someone that can help with that. So where can people go for more information?
Our website, www.scovillswithans.com. I hope to have a lot of useful information on there, so if you want to know more about what we talked about today or any other information, you can find it there.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And coming up on Suncoast FYI, a Taste of Downtown Food Festival with the Sarasota Opera. We'll have the details next, so stay tuned.